Hello and welcome. I'm Jess Thorne. And in this demonstration, our goal is to create a copy of Seated Compensation Advisor, My Team, and get a preview of the agent. Compensation Advisor, My Team helps managers to query compensation details of their team members. The Compensation Advisor Seated Agent will also be demonstrated. It is like the Compensation Advisor, My Team agent, with a focus on assisting employees with their own compensation data. Both AI agents, Compensation Advisor, My Team, and Compensation Advisor aims to support managers and employees by assisting them in reviewing compensation details such as current and historical salary, one-time payments, and stock options. This empowers managers to make informed decisions on team compensation and promotes transparency and fairness for employees. To create this agent using the Seated template, you need to follow these main steps. First, you'll copy and review where the information comes from and what actions it can do. Then, you'll create tools or edit existing tools that the agent can use to find and show details. You'll put together a team for the agent, including a worker agent using the tools, and finally test the agent and then make it available for use. To begin, let's go to the AI Agent Studio, which is where the developers and administrators create and manage these. I'm logged in as Chris Fatty, our line manager and HCM admin who has access to AI Agent Studio. Before we go into AI Agent Studio, let's make a note of some of our direct reports so that we have the names for use later. To do that, we'll go into My Team Activity Center, and we'll make a note of a few of our employees' names. Now let's go into AI Agent Studio. On the navigation menu, we'll go to Tools and click into AI Agent Studio. Here we'll find a list of all the seated templates available for our use. Let's narrow down that list by putting a search on compensation. And now we have our two seated templates, the Compensation Advisor, which is for employees to inquire about their compensation, and Compensation Advisor, My Team, which is for managers to inquire on their team members' compensation. For this lab, we'll make a copy of the Compensation Advisor, My Team agent. Here we'll enter an agent team suffix, which will be used when it automatically creates names for us. Let's click Continue. And as you can see here, we're in the AI Agent Studio canvas, and the name has been generated for us with the suffix that we had previously entered. And we are in draft mode. Now is our opportunity to review the agent team details and definitions, as well as the AI agent itself and the tools and topics that it will utilize. First, let's click on the gear icon to go into agent team settings. And looking first into the Details tab, it automatically has selected the family, the product, the maximum interactions, and the description that was copied over from our seated template. We do have the option to make changes, such as for maximum interactions, we can decrease or increase. And what that indicates is the number of times an agent within this agent team can interact with the topics and tools assigned to it. We'll leave it as the default 10, and we'll keep the description as is. The LLM is defaulted, so we can move on to questions. Here we have the option to input starter questions. So let's enter an initial question for the agent team, and we need to ensure it's framed around as a line manager asking the question. We can choose to enable follow-up questions. And if we do that, you can see the note here is if you want the AI to generate follow-up questions based on user conversation history, you would enable this. Now let's go into security. Because we want this particular agent to only be accessible and used by line managers, we will add the line manager role. Let's click Add, and we'll type in and then select from the choice the line manager role. Click on Apply and Update. So now that brings us back to the canvas. Here it shows our current agent and the tools associated to the agent and any topics. Let's first look at our current AI agent associated with this agent team. We'll click on the three dots and do Edit. The details are the same as far as what was in the settings for the agent team. The only thing is that there is now a prompt. And here we have the system prompt that was defaulted from the seated template. We can choose to keep what's defaulted or make changes. And the purpose of a system prompt is it provides instructions and rules, as well as context that defines the agent's behavior, identity, constraints, or boundaries. We'll just continue with what's defaulted, and we'll keep the language model as what's been defaulted as well. So after reviewing, there's no update. We can cancel out of there. Now let's move on to the tools that the agent will utilize. There's a total of 7 tools. We'll expand and we'll go into each individual one. We'll view details. The first tool is going to be a business object, and that business object is my team. And what that's going to do is it's going to search for workers in the user's team and organization. This business object is associated with this agent because it is a line manager who will be using this agent. We'll do the same for the next tool, and that is also a business object, and that's associated to the current salary. Because this is a compensation advisor agent, we do want the agent to retrieve current salary information for the worker. We'll continue to go through the different tools that are available, and you'll notice the theme of the tool type for this particular agent is going to be business objects, and the business objects are related to salary and compensation information. Let's go into the last tool, which is a get user session. If we view the details, it's a user session tool, and what that does, it fetches the person number of the line manager. We do have the option to also add additional tools. So let's proceed to do that. Because we have quite a good amount of compensation related business objects, let's go and create a tool that allows us to access a deep link, which will take us to our direct reports compensation view. To do that, we'll click on tools. And here you can see there's a list of tools that we can use or edit, but we'll click add to create a new one. Under tool type, there's business objects, which we covered. You can select different business objects from the HCM business object library. Deep links, which we'll be using, which allows us to create a deep link to go directly to another Fusion Applications page. Document, if we want to associate documents that the agent can use, as well as email if we want the agent to be able to use email. There is external REST. For example, if we wanted to connect to an external compensation market data, we can use REST to do that. So let's go ahead and click on Deep Link. We'll have to provide a name for the tool, and it will automatically generate the code. For the description, let's input something that will describe what this particular Deep Link tool does. Now under Deep Link, let's add the deep link. You'll be provided a list of deep links available for your use because we're looking for something related to compensation that's filtered down the list. And here we have the deep link that takes us to the compensation view page for a given employee. This is the one we want, and we'll select and add it. And you'll notice here the message, which can be modified, now allows the agent to refer to this deep link to get compensation details. Let's click Create. And now that our tool is created, let's go back to AI Agent Studio. And in Tools, we'll do a search for it. And here's our deep link. We can click on Add. And it gives us an opportunity to review the deep link that we want to add to our AI agent. Looks good, so we'll go ahead and click Add. So now we have an additional tool that we've added, which is a deep link. Now let's look into topics. There are no current topics assigned to the agent. And the difference between a prompt and a topic is that the topic is a subject matter, theme, or content area under discussion or being worked by on the user and the agent. So for example, if we wanted to add a topic specifically to discuss on compensation policies at the company, we could create a topic and add it here. But for this lab, we won't add any topics. Before we publish our compensation advisor, my team agent, let's debug and make sure that everything is working as we would expect. Click on debug. I'll ask, what is Hope Hightower's current salary? And now it's showing you how the agent is responding. It's responding to that input. And the output is it's going to give you Hope's annual salary based on using the tools, which is the business object of my team, because it's searching for the worker, and the current salary of that worker. And the user session identifies Curtis Fetty, and he is a line manager. So we can close out of there and publish. Once that's published, As a line manager, I can go back to the home page and I can access that same AI agent. And I'll go to show more. And if I click into AI Agent Studio and click into the 73 agents that I have access to, I'll narrow it down to compensation. And now you see that as a line manager, I have access to the compensation advisor, my team. And if I click into it from the line manager perspective, I can click into the starter question or input my own prompts for the AI agent, which we tested out during the debug demonstration. Now, as an employee, I'll also demonstrate how Curtis goes in to view his own personal compensation information. We're going to enter into the compensation advisor agent. And you can see here that there's also starter questions. I can click as employee, show my salary, and it will show my own personal salary information. This is one way where published agents can be accessed. There is the option to create a guided journey and embed it into a Redwood page. To do that, we can go into settings and actions and setup and maintenance, and we'll expand and do a search for guided journey. Let's click into guided journeys. And then we want to click on create. I've already created a guided journey in advance, so I'll go into it and show what it looks like. We're just entering basic details and then the name of the guided journey. Make sure you make note of the code because you will need it. And then all you do is add a task. So when you add the task, it's going to be agent task type. It's going to be a workflow agent, and it is going to reference the workflow agent that you just created or want to associate with this guided journey. We'll save. And now what we'll do is we'll go into the compensation Redwood page where we want to embed this AI agent. We'll go into my team. We'll do show more, and under compensation, we'll put it in team compensation. And as you can see here, we already have some embedded AI agents. Go to settings and actions. We'll edit page in Visual Builder Studio. Check that you're in Express mode. And then on the right panel under page properties, this is where you're going to paste in the journey code. The compensation advisor, my team agent that we created, has now been embedded into this Redwood page. Then we'll click on publish to accept the changes. And that brings us to the end of our demonstration. Thank you.